The devil knows when to approach us with temptation. He always attacks us at an opportune time. History tells us that when Hitler invaded Europe during the early years of World War II, in almost every situation, he attacked on the weekend. Hitler knew that the various governments would not be in session, making it more difficult to react swiftly to an invasion. In the same way, the devil waits for the opportune time to attack us with temptation. And we are most vulnerable to the temptations of the evil one at two different times. First of all, we are vulnerable after a time of conquest. You see, temptation often comes on the heels of some great spiritual victory, some point of success, or even after a great blessing. Because the devil knows that at times of conquest, we are often off guard. Maybe we're excited and we feel maybe a little invincible. It's at these times the devil approaches us and he begins to feed our ego and he begins to fuel our pride, saying things like, "Great job. You're so smart. You're so talented. You're so gifted. What would God do without you? This ministry would crumble without you. That person would fall away without you. She would never have been saved without you. You deserve more exposure, more responsibility, more money, and more power. In fact, you should be running things." There was a great historian who once said, "It is clear that the most dangerous point for a civilization is when it thinks it is safe and faces no further challenges." And in the same way, friends, we are vulnerable to the temptation of the devil and sin after a conquest. But also, we are vulnerable at the time of a crisis. It is when we are tired and exhausted, discouraged and frustrated, or maybe sad, that our guard is down and the devil attacks. In fact, it was after the Lord had fasted for 40 days that the devil approached him and tempted him to sin in Matthew chapter 4. Why after a 40-day fast? Because, you see, the devil knew that he would be both physically and spiritually exhausted, that he would be tired, that he would be weak, and that he would be hungry. You see, it's when we come home tired after a hard day's work or at the end of a busy and a stressful day that we are most vulnerable to the devil's attack. And friends, whether it be after a conquest or at a time of crisis, we must be ready, because the devil will approach and attack through temptation. In fact, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. And may each of us, in the power of the Holy Spirit, stand against and resist the devil, and he will flee from you. And may God, the Holy Spirit, take his word and bless you with it today.